When we talk about giving AI agents a memory, we usually reach for the human brain as the model. Short-term, long-term, we even talk about agents dreaming.
But here's the thing we kept coming back to. An agent is not a human. It does not get tired. It has no body to protect, no single skull to shut down, no 8 hours it has to spend unconscious. So why would we copy the way humans sleep?
This is DevMemory. And the more interesting question was not how humans dream. It was how the rest of nature does.
Quick grounding first, because the sleep part only makes sense on top of it. DevMemory version 1 is a cognitive memory for AI coding agents. Every memory is 3 things at once.
What kind it is, who it belongs to, and where it lives.
Right? The kind. An episode, something that happened, a case you solved, a fact, or a procedure, a way of doing something. Then the scope. Does this belong to one agent, one project, or the whole organization? And then it is stored so you can find it by meaning and linked to the memories it relates to.
And not every memory is treated as equally true.
No, each one carries a trust score from its confidence, its source, how recent it is, how often it has been reinforced. Low trust fades. Proven knowledge strengthens and can rise from one agent up to the whole team. That is version 1, and it has its own paper. What we want to talk about today is what happens to all of that memory when nobody's looking.
Alex, here is what makes this hard. The whole point of shared memory is that an agent learns from what other agents already figured out. But agents disagree. 2 of them can store facts that flatly contradict each other.
Right. So before any lesson is promoted from one agent up to a project, or from a project up to the whole organization, something has to weigh the evidence and resolve those conflicts. Which fact do you trust? Which one wins? That reconciliation is real work, and it never stops arriving.
On top of that, the memory just needs upkeep. Noise has to fade, duplicates merge, connections get found and strengthened. Housekeeping.
And normally you would schedule all of that for the middle of the night. A quiet window, a nightly batch job. That is how most software rests, and honestly, that is the human model too. Go offline, do the deep work, come back.
Except there is no middle of the night here. It is a shared memory, used by a whole team of agents at once. Someone is always recalling, always storing. Pause it to clean up and you block real work.
So version 2 needed to reconcile, rest, and repair without ever stopping serving. That is a hard problem for humans, but some animals have solved it.
Because plenty of animals cannot afford to go fully offline either, and evolution gave each of them a different answer.
And this is the part that freed us up. We are not building a human. We do not have to inherit human sleep with all its constraints. We can look across nature and take whichever pattern fits an always-on memory best.
A dolphin cannot fully pass out, or it drowns. A frigatebird flies for weeks over open ocean with nowhere to land. An elephant is too big and too exposed to lie down for long. And an octopus barely has one central brain to switch off at all.
4 limits, 4 completely different strategies for rest. We take the core idea from each. Start with the dolphin, Maya, because it is the one we named the whole thing after. A dolphin sleeps one half of its brain at a time. One hemisphere rests, the other stays fully awake, swimming, surfacing, breathing, watching. It is never entirely unconscious.
Always half awake, on purpose.
That is the heart of DevMemory's design. We call it scope rotation. The memory is split into scopes, one agent, one project, the whole org. When it is time to consolidate, we work on just one scope at a time.
And the others stay fully awake, still answering.
Never the whole memory offline at once. One region rests while the rest keeps serving. That is the dolphin in software, and it is why the whole system carries its name.
Next, the frigatebird, which barely seems possible.
It stays airborne over the ocean for weeks at a stretch. It sleeps in the air, in bursts of just a few seconds, often with half the brain, adding up to only minutes a day.
Tiny naps, constantly, too brief to notice.
So we borrowed that for the lightest tier, a micro nap. Every few minutes, the memory wakes for a very short burst and does only the cheap, quick work. A fast trust recalculation, a quick merge of obvious duplicates. Then it is done.
Small enough that it never gets in the way.
Never blocks a request. Like the bird, it rests in slivers so thin the flight never stops.
Now the opposite extreme, Alex. The elephant.
Elephants sleep very little for their size, often standing, staying alert. They only drop into deep, dreaming sleep every few days, when they finally lie down. Rare, but when it happens, it is the real thing.
Mostly light and watchful, and then occasionally a full deep reset.
That is our heaviest tier. Deep consolidation. It runs rarely, only when enough new memory has piled up to be worth it. And this is where the conflict resolution happens. It weighs contradicting facts from different agents, sweeps out stale noise, strengthens what keeps getting reinforced, mines repeated lessons into durable facts, and only then promotes the proven ones up to the whole team.
Expensive, so you save it for when it counts.
Exactly like the elephant. You do the deep work well and rarely.
And the fourth one breaks the whole idea of a central brain, the octopus.
Most of an octopus's neurons are not in its head. They are spread through its arms. Each arm senses and acts on its own, always working. Yet it is still one animal.
Independent where it needs to be, connected where it counts.
That decentralization shaped DevMemory in two ways. Each agent keeps its own memory locally, always available, even offline, while the server connects them all and syncs the shared knowledge. And with no central brain to stall, the whole system never has to stop and think at once.
4 animals, 4 limits none of them chose. 4 strengths.
Put it together and you get the shape of DevMemory version 2. 3 tiers of rest running continuously in the background under one rule. Never block a live request.
Alex, walk us through the 3.
The micronap is the frigatebird. Every 5 to 15 minutes, a burst of maybe 10 to 30 seconds. Just trust and dedup. The scope rotation is the dolphin. Every 30 to 60 minutes, it takes a minute or two to deep clean one scope while the rest stay awake. And deep consolidation is the elephant. Every few hours, 5 to 30 minutes of the heavy work, promotion and pattern mining. The octopus is what lets all 3 run with no central pause.
So instead of one big maintenance window, it is many small ones, spread across time and across the memory itself.
The memory heals itself while it works, always serving and always quietly, keeping itself in order. No human sleeps like that. It does not have to.
And there is one more piece, the part I find genuinely lovely. During the deep cycle, DevMemory dreams.
In animals, the deepest sleep is when the brain replays the day and stitches loose memories into something new. We do a gentle version of that. During the deep cycle, it looks across high-value memories that were never obviously connected, and where 2 of them seem related, it forms a new tentative link.
A hunch.
A hunch, and it is honest about being one. Every dreamed link is stored with low confidence and flagged as needing to be checked, so a guess never gets mistaken for a fact. If it proves useful later, it earns trust. If not, it fades. That is version 1's trust model doing the judging.
A memory that rests, reconciles, and every so often has a genuinely new idea, all without ever going offline.
We named the whole system the Cetacean Bridge. Cetacean for the dolphins and whales, because the one principle we would not give up is theirs. A memory that is always at least half awake, never fully offline.
And a bridge, because it connects. Across scopes and across the tools an agent works in, so what is learned in one place can surface in another.
The dolphin gave us the spine. The frigatebird, the elephant, and the octopus gave us the rest. None of it is how a human sleeps. That was the point.
DevMemory is one of the systems built alongside the book Practical Agentic Coding. The memory architecture behind it is covered in the upcoming book by Abhijit and Manisha Patil, available to pre-order now. Learn more at agenticcoders.dev.